Hi, and welcome to another session with me, Starrz. I have a quality copy where magic unfolds. So we're just going over the Australian National Men's Netball session, which is really exciting. It's another erotic 0 and Ryu conditioning standards around the Premiership, which is AAA standard. So thanks for joining me for a copy. So the Office of the Australian National Men's and Netball League welcomes Rihanna and Maria to the office of the Australian National Men's Netball. So the office is the fortitude of the Australian National Men's Netball League, which introduces a 15-week session and season of peak performance for athletes. The tournament. So the program guide. The purpose of the program is to develop peak performance of athletes designed with Rihanna Fenty. The program was reviewed by the Commonwealth Games and Olympic Games Organisation and Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Association that the program increases the male athlete's peak conditions subsequent to the 1-week men's netball tournament. We would really like to put it out there that Australia warmly welcomes Rihanna Fenty, Caribbean Breeze, for her move to Australia, in which she jumped at the opportunity of Office of Australian National Men's Netball League. She had to overcome many obstacles in seeing this vision come to surface. So registrations. So 12 clubs registered to participate in the annual back-to-back Premiership. The investment strategy. So $1 billion for the strategy over 10 years. $100 million per annum budget. An office of 55 staff with a tribunal of 12, not including the executives. Buy-ins. So the registrations of buy-ins for the office consist of clubs across the whole Australian jurisdiction, from far north Queensland to Tasmanian Tigers. The names of the clubs are New South Wales Swifts, Central Queensland Spartans, Victoria Vixens, South New South Wales Royals, North Queensland, Queensland Suns, Tasmanian Titans, West Coast Thunders, South Australia Southern Dragons, Northern Territory Wizards, First Nations, ACT Griffins, and Queensland Lightning. So what does her model provide? So it's return on investment. What are the income streams? Well, it consists of membership, registrations, buy-ins, endorsements, sponsors, entertainment. So looking at that coffee shop as well, along with private investments, donations, fees and fines, ticket sales. And what's the game guide? Well, we're going to walk through that game guide. So with overseeing governance is the supporting tribunal. Obviously, to any game, there are rules and regulations. Tournament rules, team guides, player handbooks, fines and penalty fees, code of conducts, and ethics. Now, of course, not to forget the netball game type, which is traditional netball, with those rules as well. 1-point game system. The competition consists of 2-round match plays over the course of 15 weeks, preferably each club to host the venue of play. So clubs are to provide an accredited badged umpire. Teams are to have a team manager and coach. The maximum number of players on a team is 11, and a squad is 14. So teams are required to submit the players playing 2 days before the live match to traditional netball rules apply. What else is included? Men's recording and history. And what else does that consist of? It also consists of commentators, live streams, scoring, setting up and packing up all those events, daily draws and updates, and that's between teams and the office, which includes obviously getting organized. Electronic Journal of Records and History. So obviously there are going to be records for the live shows and the show ponies. 6 live games slots per week, and 1 team would be at a bye. So we're looking at 2 Sunday sessions, 2 Thursday evening sessions, and 2 Friday evening sessions. And of course, we want to recap the panel discussion, which would be on Saturday. And of course, the winner trophy is the erotic Ziril trophy. Within that game guide, there is the team of code of conduct. So all teams, like any sport, are required to have the same uniform attire, as well as accord to the team code of conduct, which would obviously be 0 tolerance for umpires and players. So umpires won't tolerate aggressive behavior. So sanctions. Any foul behavior or unreasonable conduct can be sanctioned and addressed by the tribunal, which is what the tribunal is for. Plan Z, First Nations. So the Office of Australian National Men's Netball League has embedded the Plan Z First Nations program. The approach is the selection of First Nations persons to participate in the premierships will be selected upon selections at state competitions. So the selected candidates will be placed in the First Nations squad. And the Office of Australian National Men's Netball League will select a selection panel to conduct selections. So once again, we'd just like to also thank the Erotic Zero and Ryu Conditioning Standards for the evaluation classification of AAA national standards for the Australian jurisdiction.